quite a few attendees this evening. That is very, that's great that you've all decided to take the time to listen this evening. As some of you may know, I'll be speaking to the Year 9s tomorrow during their Chatcom session, and there'll be some heads of faculty there as well to speak about those subjects that the students haven't done before. So like the project, Miss Mossman has a wonderful subject called the project, so she'll be talking to the students about that, as well as the maths teacher, because there's the maths head of faculty, because there's some very important things that we need to look at for maths. So I'll just get on with this tonight, leave the introductions out of it until later. Okay, so that's me, Jenny Middleton. I'm the Assistant Principal Teaching and Learning. You have to excuse me because I just have to see where my cursor is. It sort of goes left and right all over the place. So as you can see, we have a number of heads of faculty who are available to everyone tonight. If you have any specific questions about, excuse me, specific questions about a subject, then you just email the head of faculty. Hopefully you would have received that email that gives you all those email addresses. So yes, I'll be there to answer any specific questions about subjects, and I'll be online to answer any questions about general things. So because I'm here by myself, I won't be able to answer any questions until I finish the presentation, and then I'll answer all of them at the same time. Okay, so Year 9s, this is where you're at this year. This is a very poignant area that you are experiencing at present. And when we designed the program for our secondary school, we decided that students needed, in grade 9 in particular, to experiment right across the board. And so in Year 9, you would have chosen subjects that would have given you some, some practice at the various areas that we offer here at CHAC, but also areas that you really, really enjoy. Hopefully from that, you will have determined what subjects you would like to take into grade 10 and further along. We do use a semester unit timetable, and this is the first school I've ever been to where this actually happens. So you're able to taste many, many more areas than if you simply had to choose a number of subjects for the whole year. And in fact, we have had a number of students who have changed subjects at the end of semester 1 into semester 2 because they really enjoyed that area. Like, for example, drama, music, art, all of those subjects that you don't get to experience so much because they're not core subjects. Okay, so in Year 10, you need to think about your senior studies, your senior electives, and where you're going to go in senior. You should choose subjects that you are good at or are very, very interested in, something that is a passion for you. We do have subjects like the project, and I'm hammering this a little bit because it is such a wonderful subject, where you can develop some wonderful entrepreneurial skills that will enable you to be more independent and resilient in your learning when you get into grade 11 and 12. There is no subject that leads from the project in grade 11 and 12, but the skills that you develop in that subject are usable across all of your subjects in grade 11 and 12. So once again, we have semester units where students choose a number of units and the timetable is developed from those choices. I would expect that you would choose subjects that would give you some level of preparation for grade 11 and 12. And I'll go through that a little bit later so that you get more information about that. It's also important that you remember that some of the subjects that you do have in grade 10 actually prepare you very well for the subjects in grade 11 and 12. They're not just an introduction, but they start developing those skills you need for grade 11 and 12. And the other thing that's important about choosing these subjects in grade 10 is that you get an idea as to whether you or not you want to continue those subjects in grade 11 and 12. You have your basic. In grade 10, you have your core subjects, but then you have 7 electives that you can choose, and that gives you a wide range of subjects that will give you some idea as to where you're going to be heading. Okay, I will get to the questions once I finish the presentation, so I apologise if I can't get to them straight away. Okay, the timetable is constructed using student choices, and this is very, very important because in some schools I've been in, just lines were developed and the subjects were on those lines, and all students could do was choose a subject from a line. So you didn't get that choice of subjects that would give you a whole range of experiences. The grade 11s have got their choices in, and I've been able to give, I think I had 99% students got all of their first choices. There's a few students I need to talk to about their reserves, and so we can manipulate that. It is a great way of doing the timetable. The important thing also is that you can reassess your goals. This usually happens early in the semester. Parents are involved in the process. I've noticed just recently that some parents were not involved in assisting their students in grade 8 into grade 9 choose their subjects, and so it is important to remember that you really should have your parents part of the process. Even though I don't expect them to sign off a form or anything like that, I do expect that they know what you are choosing. We have a very broad-based curriculum, and this ensures that all of you are in a good position to make the right decisions about your future. So there are some prerequisite subjects. But the only one that requires you to have studied the subject prior to grade 10 are French and Japanese. So you cannot study French or Japanese in grade 10 unless you, I'm developing a bit of a cold here, unless you do it in grade 9 and previous to that as well. If you want to study a subject in senior, it is strongly recommended that you study the equivalent in year 10. And I've got a few examples there for you. Physics, prep for senior drama, psychology, economics and legal studies lead you into economics and legal studies. There's 2 subjects in grade 11 and 12. There's so many more, introduction to drama, HPE, you've got maths methods and general maths, which I'll talk more about later. Sorry, excuse me. If you do choose physics, then we will expect that you are doing quite well in mathematics, which means, and I'll get more to this later, you'll need a B for maths in order to study math methods in grade 10. Physics is very rigorous. If you enjoy your mathematics, you'll really enjoy physics because it is applied mathematics. Chemistry, you tend to have to use that higher level mathematics, so math methods is beneficial but not compulsory. Both geography subjects, for example, prepare you equally well for senior geography. Same with history. You might choose the ancient history stream or the modern history stream. Both of those subjects prepare you very, very well for both modern and ancient history in grade 11 and 12. Okay, and these are the senior secondary subjects for 2023 and beyond. So you can see that there are lots and lots and lots of subjects there. You've got your core subjects, which are English and mathematics. And there's English, you've got English literature, English, which is your general subject, and essential English. Sorry, excuse me, I just need to do something here. Apologies for that. And then you've got a whole bunch of electives in grade 11 and 12. And so these are the ones that you can start planning for when you choose your subjects for next year. Also in grade 11 and 12, you've got some electives which are applied subjects. And when you get later on in grade 10, when you start choosing your subjects for 11 and 12, we'll go much more into this. And we've got vocational subjects like your Cert 3 in business and your Cert 3 in fitness. Just to find, there it is, there's the mouse. There we go. Okay, so how many do you choose? You've got to do 2 semesters of English, 2 semesters of maths, 1 of science, but then you can choose biology, physics, chemistry, or all 3 in semester 2. They are always semester 2 subjects. You've got history, so there's 3 streams of history: modern, ancient, and study of religion. And then you've got your health and physical education. Now, those of you who have done sports excellence this year, you know all about sports excellence. It does take up to 2 of your electives, as does French and Japanese. But you do have the opportunity to choose 7 electives for grade 10. Okay, now some of you have already been into the subject selection site, and I know that a number of you have also looked at the videos and checked out the booklet, the subject selection guide. So there's a lot of information in there for you. One of the other things that you can do if you're not sure about any subject at all is to talk to your current teacher, or tonight talk to the heads of faculty, because they are there available to you for answering any questions that you have. So you would have received last Friday a Web Choices email. It didn't come from me. It came from Cannon Hill Anglican College, and that's what it says at the top there. Year 10 electives. Then you click on this spring.edval.education/login and put in your web code. Please don't use last year's web code. Some people have done that in the past, not this year, fortunately, because that will give them last year's choices, last year's selections. So I think as of today, I've got about, 10 people who have chosen their subjects for year 10. So that's great. It means that it's working, which is always something that I get concerned about. Technology isn't always kind. So then you move into these different pages. So year 10 electives, and you click there and then you put your electives in. So for English, you've got to put 2. Because English, everyone does English in the first semester. In second semester, you can choose literature, English, which is what's called the core English, or you can choose essential English. Now you can choose both literature and English in semester 2 if that's what you want, because they're both. You can choose both, and that's exactly the same thing you can do with grade 11. You can choose both English and literature, but you can't choose essential English with either of those. With maths, we're putting everybody into the same maths group, except for those students who are doing the accelerated group. So there's only 2 choices. There's the accelerated group, so you'll choose that one, and then everybody else just goes into maths. I'll explain more about that later, and I'm starting to lose my voice. Once you've done that, you simply click submit. You can tell it to send you an email with your choices on it. You don't have to get that signed off by me or by your parents, because I'm able to download that at a later date. So this is my choices for year 10. When I was at school, I did a pure science maths course. So I've got their modern history, because I love history as well. There is a new subject this year, which is preparation for specialist mathematics. And that's a subject that goes very well, complements very strongly physics, because there's a lot of similar thinking in those 2 subjects. And then I've chosen a couple of other subjects that I was very interested in as my reserves, just in case. It's very infrequent that people miss out on a subject, very infrequent because of the way that we do this. Okay, so you can send it to your own email, or you can send it to mum and dad if you want to, but then you can send that and then you simply exit. So just turn it off, exit, and then it's all done. Make sure you do exit, because if you don't, it won't save. Then, okay, mathematics. We have found in the past that students feel at this stage that they would like to try maths methods, and that's fine. But when they get into grade 11 and 12, it becomes a lot more difficult, a lot more rigorous. There's a lot higher expectations. And universities only require methods if you're going into something like engineering, for example, or subjects that require a higher level of mathematics. Next year, in term 1, you will all be sitting down with Miss Cummins, and you'll be doing your set planning, and that is looking at where you're heading in grade 11 and 12 after school, and you'll be able to talk to her about where you want to go. For this year, just choose mathematics, and we'll, at the end of the year, we'll put you into your maths class based on your result. Now, if you have a great desire to do methods, then that's fine, but it requires a lot of work, a lot of commitment, and probably going to a lot of tutorials, I would say. So essential mathematics or general mathematics or maths methods are your options, but not in grade 10, that's in grade 11 and 12. If you do general mathematics, you can then move into the essential mathematics in grade 11 and 12. But we certainly ensure that the maths program is one that you'll be successful at. So your progress in year 9 will determine your pathway in year 10 and beyond. Now, we know that some people are able to develop their mathematical skills throughout grade 9 into grade 10, but unless you have developed those skills by now, which is, or you're halfway through term 3, we have to worry about whether or not you can improve and continue with mathematics in grade, maths methods in grade 10. So just make sure that if you want to do maths methods, and you really have to get stuck in, focus, and get that B grade or higher by the end of the year. If you have a C grade or lower, then you'll be doing the introduction to general maths, and that's something that we'll be letting you know at the end of the year. As I said before, if you are already studying year 10 mathematics, you're in grade 9, year 10 mathematics, you are in Miss Evans's class, and it's recommended you continue your accelerated pathway and choose 11 maths methods. So there is your choice. You'll be staying in the same class though, because all the grade 10s are blocked, and so you'll still be in a grade 10 class, but you'll be doing the year 11 course. Miss Purvis is the head of mathematics. I'll be speaking to you all tomorrow and explaining this in a lot more detail. Okay, so today is the 15th, and we've got this information evening, which is online. By next Monday, which is the 22nd of August, I would like you please to have all of your subject selections in. As I said, we've got about 10, and that's pretty impressive because we haven't even talked about this. You haven't even spoken to the heads of faculty, but I will have to close it. But I will be, if I have to chase people, I will, because I don't like to close it off until I have almost everybody's data into the system. Otherwise, some subjects may not run. And it's happened in the past. For example, we had a couple of PE subjects that we combined last year because neither of them had enough people, and so Mr. Greer kindly developed a subject that included both subjects, and that way all of those students were catered for. So, sorry, that should say please use the Q&A function. That was wrong. To ask me a question or email the heads of faculty for subject-specific questions. So I'm just going to go, I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm starting to lose my voice. I'll also turn the mic off, but I'll be answering questions through Q&A. It will go until 7:30. Please just let me know if you need anything else. Okay, thank you very much for attending. Quite a few people here tonight, which is great, and I hope that you make this make some good choices. But of course, you'll have if you need advice, you just have to go to the right people for that advice. Miss Cummins is also somebody who's prepared to help you out. Unfortunately, she's tending to be helping the Year 12s at present, so you may find it a bit difficult to get an appointment at this point. But certainly any of your teachers can help, the heads of faculty can help. Okay, well, thank you very much. I will just turn the camera and the mic off.